Don't miss the tea. Subscribe now.
OMG, grab your wine, sit down, and do not say a word until I finish because I am literally vibrating with rage right now. You know how I've been telling you I'm moving out at the end of the month? Well, thank God, because if I have to spend one more second in this house with him, I might actually commit a felony. So you know the situation. I'm 21, just trying to survive, and I'm renting a room from this guy. Let's call him the landlord, even though he's technically my friend. He's 36 years old. You'd think by that age a man would have some semblance of emotional regulation, but apparently not. Usually it's whatever, but lately, the vibes are rancid. Let me set the stage for the disaster that was yesterday. You know my commute. It's absolute hell on earth. It's an hour and a half each way. So yesterday I'm coming back from work exhausted, and naturally I miss my train. I'm standing there freezing, and the snow starts coming down. I mean a full-on blizzard. Can't see 2 feet in front of you, nightmare weather. By the time I get to my car, the roads are treacherous. I'm white-knuckling the steering wheel, sliding around, praying I don't end up in a ditch. But because I am a considerate roommate, I stop at the grocery store. I figure we need supplies. I text him, no answer. I call him, no answer. Now our house is at the bottom of this incredibly steep hill. It's basically a slide when it snows. I didn't feel safe driving down there without checking if the driveway had been cleared. So I'm calling him again and again. Nothing. Straight to voicemail, so I risk it. I drive down this death trap of a hill, heart pounding, literally picturing my own funeral. I finally park, yank the handbrake, and storm inside, shaking from the adrenaline. And what do I see? I just drove down a death trap of an icy hill in a blizzard, shaking from adrenaline because my roommate wouldn't answer his phone. I storm inside, and there he is, sitting on the couch, TV on, video game controller in hand, warm, cozy, oblivious. He wasn't in the shower or asleep. He was sitting right there next to his phone, ignoring me while I was fighting for my life on the Autobahn. I was seeing red. I kick off my boots, and he finally looks up. He pauses his game and asks, "Oh, hey. Do you need help with the groceries?" I looked at him, and my soul left my body. I snapped, "No." I realized I sounded like a petulant teenager, but I was so pissed that he waited until I was physically inside to offer help. I started nagging him immediately. "Why didn't you pick up your phone? I could have crashed on that hill." He didn't really say anything, just looked at me like I was the crazy one. I stormed back out to the car to get the rest of the bags. I hauled them into the kitchen, but the rage wasn't going away. So I turned to him and say, "You can put the groceries away. I'm going to go shovel the snow so I can calm down." I grabbed the shovel and went back out into the freezing cold, aggressively throwing snow around. And then the back door opens. I think, okay, maybe he's coming to help. No, he steps out onto the porch, lights up a cigarette, and just watches me. He literally stood there, smoking, watching me shovel the driveway that he, a 36-year-old man, could have shoveled hours ago. I finished shoveling, walked past him, and went inside. And girl, when I walked into the kitchen, the groceries were exactly where I left them. I walked back into the kitchen after shoveling snow, and the groceries were exactly where I left them. He hadn't touched a single thing. He had walked right past them to go outside and smoke while watching me shovel, and then walked right past them again to go sit back on the couch. I almost cried. It felt like such a power play. Now I know he's struggling. He had a bad holiday, he's depressed, and his weed usage is out of control. He's high 24/7. But there is a difference between being depressed and being a jerk. I put the groceries away myself, slamming cabinet doors. Then I tried to be the bigger person. I walked into the living room to apologize for snapping earlier, explaining that the drive was horrific and I was scared. He didn't even look at me. He interrupted me and said in a monotone voice, "You shouldn't take your anger out on me. I'm not your punching bag." And then he put his headphones on. He silenced me. So since yesterday, we have been playing the silent game. The tension is suffocating. This morning, I felt bad. I hate conflict and I'm moving out soon, so I tried to break the ice. I wrote a little note and left it on the kitchen table. It said, "Hey, yesterday sucked. We both acted like buttheads. Let's reset." I thought buttheads was a funny, childish word to acknowledge we were both difficult. It's an olive branch, right? Wrong. I get a text from him a few hours later. I open it, expecting a thumbs up. Nope. I tried to apologize to my 36-year-old roommate with a note saying, "We both acted like buttheads, let's reset," expecting to squash the beef. Instead, he sends me this long paragraph saying, "I saw your note. I don't appreciate being insulted. What happened yesterday was entirely your fault. You were aggressive and rude. I did nothing wrong. Do not call me names." I stared at my phone for 5 minutes. Is he joking? He took buttheads as a serious, grievous insult. And he is taking zero accountability. In his mind, he is the perfect, innocent roommate who was attacked by a crazy woman. He completely glazed over ignoring my calls during a blizzard, not helping with groceries, and smoking while watching me shovel snow. I texted back explaining it was a joke and apologized, but he left me on read. So now I'm sitting in my room, afraid to go to the kitchen because I don't want to see his face. What am I missing here? Am I the villain? I admit I was snappy because I was stressed. That's why I wrote the note. But for him to act like he contributed nothing to the situation is making me lose my mind. He's 36, on vacation, high as a kite, and sulking because a 21-year-old called him a butthead in a peace offering note. I honestly don't know what to do for the next 2 weeks. I feel like he's using his depression as a shield to be a bad friend. Or maybe I really was a monster. But I drove through a snowstorm to feed us. I am so done. I just want to pack my boxes and get out. Tell me I'm not crazy, or tell me if I am.